the competition floor, everybody chasing Matt Fraser, who right now has a 164-point lead over second place Pat Vellner. If it stays in triple digits after this event, Matt Fraser has mathematically clinched his third straight title of fittest on earth.
Well, if we use the regional event from this year with the handstand walks and these different type of apparatus in there, Matt Fraser had the best time in the world. So no, he's not a gymnast. He is just the best, fittest athlete that we have, and I'm looking for the exact same thing in this particular event.
Noah Olson, 7th place overall. This is an event that plays to some of his strengths.
It really does, and whenever you have a gymnastic event, he always seems to do well in these things. I think his confidence is high, but here's an event where he needs to get some points, and he needs to make something happen big.
We start with those 50 heavy rope double unders. What are the keys of this event, Bill?
Well, they just can't let this event get into their head. You don't want to think about it too much. You don't want to see one of the pieces of apparatus come up and think, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to do that. But if you do fail, and you fail a couple times, don't let that anxiety ruin you for the rest of the event. Try to keep your head mellow, try to keep your head in the game, get back up on those hands and get up over that obstacle.
Matt Fraser is already done with his 50 double unders, as is Noah Olson. Now Fraser has to start again because both hands need to start behind the yellow line. The key for Matt Fraser is just don't punt this thing into the stands and he will be okay. Noah Olson is through the slalom and onto the ramp. He is your leader right now in the heat. The time to beat Cody Anderson, 1:29.42 seconds, and Olson stays on his hands as he approaches the stairs. Matt Fraser and Brent Fikowski are in second, and there goes Noah Olson looking at the final obstacle, but he's going to have to come down. So now Matt Fraser approaches the steps. He's in second place. Matt Fraser over the steps. Matt Fraser is going to break before that final obstacle. Good news for Fraser. He's ahead of Vellner. He's ahead of Hogberg. He's ahead of Fikowski.
Good break by Noah Olson. Very smart. I know he was trying to get that out of the way.
Here comes Fraser.
And I don't know if you saw that. You saw Matt was actually trying to move the cameraman out of the way and didn't want any of the things disorient him as he was getting up to those parallel bars, because that, as Travis said earlier, that's a tough part.
Matt Fraser is up and over. And Matt Fraser has mathematically clinched. .99 seconds, will not win the event, but all Matt Fraser needs to do is complete the minimum work requirement in the final event, and he will be crowned the fittest man on earth for the third straight time. Rasmus Anderson has finished, Bjorn Karl Gudmundsson has finished, and now Noah Olson is in. Pat Vellner's across, and he gets a hug from Matt Fraser. Cole Sager, top of your screen, just came in. Lucas Hogberg was sitting in third place overall.
I touched on this is the issue. If you are trying to push for the top and you overextend yourself and you get overextended, this is what happens. You fail, you fail, you fail. You're not 5th place. Now you're 35th place.
The good news for Hogberg is that he has finished. Brent Fikowski is the man trying to chase him down for that final podium spot, and that is Brent Fikowski still on the floor. And this is now where the times from the prior heats start to come into play. These are the standings coming into the event, as Patrick Vellner and Lucas Hogberg looking to lock up the second and third spots heading into the final event. But they still have work to do. Hogberg has not finished. His score is up on the screen, but he is still on the floor. So he will come over. He is ahead of Fikowski, and that matters. So Fikowski will not be able to gain points on Lucas Hogberg. Fikowski trying to get over in 15 seconds before we hit the time cap. Brent Fikowski has done it, and he is in. That man has also done it. Minimum work requirement is all that remains for Matt Fraser, and for the third straight year, he has mathematically clinched with one event to go.
You know, and I don't want to talk about poker faces too much, but when he is confident, he's on, look at that face. He knows. Now, granted, it's always easy to look good when you're winning, but from the beginning, he got on those double unders, didn't have an issue, but the start was just ahead. Hands were above the line, so they pushed him back. Many guys maybe that would have flustered him. They did not frustrate him at all. Made his way through those pylons, not a problem. So, no, Olsen, I really thought he was going to have a big push to the front. Looked very solid, got up through those first couple obstacles, wasn't able to get to the parallel bars. He just fell just before the line. But Matt Fraser, head was in the game, very confident, very cool, managed that anxiety, was able to make himself up and over those low parallel bars. Beautiful finish for Matt, and what a way to seal the deal.
Matt Fraser has mathematically clinched his third straight title of fittest man on earth, but again, he does have to complete the minimum work requirement in the final event. Cody Anderson is going to hang on for the event win. Alex Smith finishes second. Fraser takes third ahead of Ben Smith. Patrick Vellner will finish 10th, and he is with Mike Arsenault.
Patrick, you needed to create separation for yourself on that event between Hoburg and Fikowski. You did just that, but you're not happy with your performance throughout that event. What do you think went wrong?
I don't know. I think I was maybe had my head a little elsewhere, like maybe thinking a little bit too much about that race and not enough about the task at hand. And I mean, it's a highly technical event, and I just made a lot of execution errors, and I'm never happy with that. It's sort of a letdown personally when you just sort of lose your head and make stupid mistakes that were very avoidable. So, I mean, hopefully did enough to do what I need to do to make things attainable in the next event, but that was not the best I could have done that event. So that's always a little disappointing.
As I mentioned, currently you're on track to potentially be the second fittest man on earth with one event remaining. What's going through your mind right now, considering all the hardships you've had to go through this week?
Did you hear how heavy that yoke was at the end? It's going to be a hard event in the final, and so I think it's going to come down to that. So, I mean, like you said, there is still one event to go. Nothing's sealed, so I got a lot of work to do. Try to recover.
Thank you. See you in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Pat Vellner may not be the champion of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games, but right now he's the people's champion. He is in second place overall. He is 34 points clear of Lucas Hoburg and 68 points up on Lucas Hoburg, on Ben Fikowski, part of it.
Well, the first thing, Matt Fraser, unbelievable job, but Patrick Vellner, the consistency and resiliency, I'm overly impressed.
One event remains for the men, and it's going to be a victory lap for Matt Fraser, but still plenty needs to be decided in those last two podium spots. The men are done. The women are up next. The 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games continue.